Then just here we have toilet capacity. So you've got your cassette toilet here. Now to remove this, you press up on the orange handle and pull out towards you. This handle then extends out and up, so it can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. When you're at the appropriate point on site, what you want to do is twist that head to the side, open up this cap like so. You'll then want to tilt it at the same time as tilting, continually pressing that vent button. Now, my recommendation is once you've done that, to open up this capacity, feed in some clean water, give it a shake, and again, tilt and vent. You then have on this cap measurements in both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into there, twist the head back to the side, then push it in so that the orange handle sits behind those white teeth, as then it can't be removed. We then have your flush tank here. This has a capacity to hold around 12 litres of water. However, I won't recommend putting in any more than 10, as you don't want to overfill the capacity. You could also add pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell nicer. However, if you are using pink chemical, please do not put any more than a cap full in, because it is slightly denser than water and it can pretty much just clog the system, so you don't need much. Now, you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just up here got a little bung to drain off any remaining water from the flush tank. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side seat you have all of this here, so I wouldn't recommend storing anything under here. You have two drain valves here now, facing in the position as they are now. That is allowing the flow of water to come through. However, when you collect the caravan, they will both be in the vertical position, which is drain mode. Now, November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan, and anytime you come off site, give the caravan a drain off as well. You don't want water in the system whilst travelling or when it's cold. This here is your outer boiler, which is a compact 330. You then have the equivalent of your brain box for your motor mover. That's the backing for your battery box, and then just here we have your trips and fuses. Now, I'd always recommend carrying some extra fuses across the van, but as you can see, all trips in the upright position and all fuses in the correct position there as well. And just here we have your main control panel. So you have your main on and off switch here, interior lights, and then you just have to use your respective switches across the van. Awning light, press that in. Just go outside and you can see that's on there. You have the amount of power coming into the van, which right now is showing full capacity. As I'm plugged into mains, that is only going to show the amount from mains. That is a blank button because they use the same screen on motorhomes, and this one just unfortunately doesn't have it. Then just here we have your pump button. So what you'll have to do for pump is come in, press it in, make sure your drain valves are in the correct position and that everything is plugged in. You'll then have to come over to your taps, open it up. You may get a couple of coughs and splutters like it is just doing there, but what you're after is a nice steady continuous stream like I have now. Now what you want is around about 30 seconds of nice continual stream. If it does continue to cough and splutter more than 10 seconds, check your drain valves, check your acroll, check your pump. Just make sure everything's in the correct position. And if you're wanting to use other water sources such as the shower and the other sink, double check them as well. So that's around about 30 seconds, knock it off. And then when you come to drain it off, you'll also see just here, shows this green bar to show that water is coming back into the boiler, being pressurized, and it has now gone off to signify that that is full. Turn off the pump using this button. You'll then want to come over to your drain valves, open up both of them, and then just open up your taps that you have used to get out any residual water. And then when you come to fill up the actual boiler itself, you just do the inverse of that. Then here we have your outer control panel. So to turn it on, you use the power button. It'll flash up, go through it, sort of synchronize, and then you come to this control screen. So first up, you have indoor temperature. Shows the indoor what it actually is and what you desire it to be. Now this starts at 5 degrees and goes all the way up to 30. Now if it's a nice hot day like it is today, that temperature may exceed it, but it will also take a shorter amount of time to get to the temperature that you want. However, if it is a bit colder, it is obviously going to take longer. Energy, we can either use 1, 2, 3 kilowatts of electric. Now do be aware that some sites don't have 3 kilowatt. Or we can use gas, or we can use a mixture. So you've got the choice of gas, mains, or both. And if you flick down, you have a priority loader, a load monitor, and a high altitude setting there as well. You then have hot water. Hot water is either off, on, which will get the water temperature to about 40 degrees, or boost. Now what boost does, it prioritizes using, well, it will just heat the hot water before it heats anything else. So that lasts for 30 minutes, and after those 30 minutes, it will then drop itself back down to on. Okay, I can press menu again, and I come through to the additional settings, which a lot of this is self-explanatory. However, if you'd like some more information, have a look inside your book packs. Then, when you've finished up in the van, turn it off using that button. Naturally, when you don't use this panel for a while, it will sort of strip itself off, but when you want it completely off, just press it on the power. Then just here we have your hob, grill and oven, all of which operates on gas, minus the electric plate. For the electric plate, spin to whatever mark and it will get to temperature. Everything else, what you'll want to do is press in on the door, twist it to the side and press in on the igniter. Now it may be a case that it takes a little while to light, or it may light and then cut off. That is natural when you first come to use it. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see there, all burners nice and lit. Turn it off back to the central position. It's going to be the same concept for your grill. As you can see, grill all nice and lit. And finally your oven. Now make sure as well that these trays do not intrude on the igniter. You can see that's all nice and lit there as well. Any other real thing to note, you need to travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all burners are cold to the touch. And anytime you're travelling, make sure the gas bottle is off. Then here we have your fridge operation. So to turn on the fridge, press and hold in. Blue light will flash on, and then it will go to its most recent memory, which in this case is gas. Now for gas, I'd recommend running through the hob, grill and oven first before you select it. As you will see inside, it is still a little bit stiff because it's new. It's going to be a couple of lights up there to show that it's on. And then when you don't interact with the panel, it's just going to show a little blue light there. We can press in on this square and it will flash back to its memory. You can then press and hold in on the square and you can circulate through. So you can use gas. That battery symbol is only representative of 13 pin whilst towing. Mains or A. Now what A is automatic. So it chooses what the fridge thinks is the best source. We then have the amount of power, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. You can see that A is selected mains, and even on full capacity, it will take around 4 hours for the fridge to fully chill. So you can either chill it the night before or chill it whilst towing. Then this will stay on, but when you want to turn the fridge off, press and hold in, turns it off there, no more lights. And just here we have your toilet capacity. Lift up the lid, press in the button, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push through any water across the system. Then to remove your waste, pull this towards you, push it back to shut it up, and when the cassette is full, there'll be a red light on there telling you to empty.